Alright, what is up everybody? It's Kaz back with another one-on-one video. Today we are back on the bench and Storm. We are going to be starting Colossus Boulevard. Yeah, let's get right into it.
I have a very important task for you today, young wizard. Your studies will have to wait. You've done such a great job elsewhere. I could use your magic on Colossus Boulevard. I had to lock the gate because the street had become too dangerous. Professor Greyrose summoned an army to run out the ghosts. Something must have gone very wrong with her spell. The gate guard, Private O'Doyle, can tell you more. Please find him in the shopping district and see if he needs help.
Thank goodness the headmaster sent a wizard to aid us. We could really use your help. Strange creatures have taken over Colossus Boulevard. We don't know where they came from, but they eat everything in sight. We call them gobblers. I admire you wizards. My niece studies ice magic at Ravenwood, but I'm worried about her. She said she was doing some school project on Colossus Boulevard, but I don't know why she has to do it now. Would you go speak to her and see if she needs any help? Her name is Mindy Pixie Crown.
That's so sweet of my uncle to send you. I'm so glad you came too. I've been doing some ice research for Professor Greyrose, but I had to stop. I really need your help. This is horrible. First the gobblers showed up and started eating everything in sight, and then these evil snowmen. They're all over the place. We must get rid of them, but there are so many. Hey, I know. Why don't you defeat some of them and see if that will chase the rest away? Make a dent in those gobblers at all. They're still eating the city. Go speak with Professor Greyrose. Maybe she will know what to do. I'll try to keep their damage to a minimum.
afraid of that. It was an accident. I didn't mean to summon those gobblers, and those evil snowmen aren't doing a thing to help. They're actually causing more trouble. The biggest problem with gobblers is that they're always hungry. Let's try brewing a potion to make them lose their appetite. The snowmen we'll deal with later. Here is a list of ingredients for the potion. Take it back to Minty Pixie Crown on Colossus Boulevard.
A magic potion? Excellent idea! I'll begin working on this list she gave us. I'll set up the cauldron for the potion here. Can you get the first ingredient? It's called stinkweed. You can find that growing right here in Colossus Boulevard. Go gather some for me. Stinkweed really does stink. I know I've lost my appetite. That's all I need. I'll brew the potion now. Here's the first batch of potion, young wizard. Hopefully this will make the gobblers stop eating. While I'm making more, go beat some gobblers in combat and make them drink the stinkweed potion. All done? Excellent. Let's see if the potion had any effect. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the potion didn't quite work. I don't want to bother the headmaster. I know. The Gobbler King lives in the large palace at the very end of the street. Maybe we can reason with him. I'll try to brew a stronger potion. See if you can make a deal with the Gobbler King to stop eating and leave the city.
You'll have to get past me if you want to see the king.
first world, the children of Lady Nightstar, the Grandmother Raven, battled constantly. Titans they were, embodiments of ice, fire, and storm. Their conflict shook the world, but by the time of the spiral, only their offspring remained. Giants were the descendants of the Ice Titan, who used his power to create frost castles from frozen clouds. Like their ancestor, they battled the dragons on the ground until the wars decimated both races. The giants retreated to the world now known as Grizzleheim, where the few who still remain rule the frigid realm of Wintertusk.
A tiny wizard. Hello, tiny wizard. Have you come to surrender your city? You want us to leave? Oh, no. No. My people love it here. We shall call this city New Gobblerton. If you prove to be good servants, perhaps we shall let the tiny wizard stay in New Gobblerton. Here is my royal decree.
You pick up the royal decree to take back to Mindy Pixie Crown.
The Gobbler King wants us to surrender Wizard City? Big problem. Big problem. I can't believe the Gobblers are trying to claim Wizard City. We need to tell Headmaster Ambrose. Take the Gobbler King's royal decree to Headmaster Ambrose. See what he thinks we should do.
What? This decree doesn't even make sense. It's just pictures of ice cream and chickens drawn in crayon.
Headmaster Ambrose shakes his head sadly.
The Gobblers may be a larger problem than we realized. I hate to ask, but you need to go duel some of them to test their strength. Now that we know how strong the gobblers are, I have a plan. Please deliver this letter to Mindy Pixie Crown for me. Your hard work will pay off, I promise.
Headmaster Ambrose hands you an official-looking document. Mindy Pixie Crown reads the official-looking document.
I think this plan will work. This plan calls for challenging the Gobbler King's two closest advisors, Baron Greebly and Baron Rotunda. Dueling isn't my strength, so you're the only one who can do this, young wizard. They're each hiding out in towers, one at each end of the street. Defeat them and see what the Gobbler King has to say then.
Is it time for dinner yet? You look like you'd make a good stew. Get over here. You've come to take away my treats? I can't allow that. To battle! The little wizard is back. Are you ready to surrender now?
You tell the Gobbler King about your battles with Barons Greebly and Rotunda.
What? You defeated them? I find that hard to believe. I'll have to send someone to find out if what you say is true or not.
Just as the Gobbler King is getting ready to call, a messenger breaks into the room.
Sir, the two barons have been defeated by a student wizard. What shall we do?
Oh dear, what you said is true. Then that means New Gobblerton, Wizard City, is yours. Spare me and my people, wizard. We mean you no harm. I ask that we are allowed to stay here. Our old home was filled with witches, and we are too scared to go back. I promise we will not eat so much. You have my word.
Amazing, young wizard! You have brought peace with the gobblers! You've done a great job! Be sure to tell Headmaster Ambrose what the Gobbler King said. Now I can get back to my project.
My plan worked. Oh, that's excellent news.
You tell Headmaster Ambrose what the Gobbler King said about their home world.
My. I certainly don't want to force them to go back to a world where they aren't welcome. Very well. We will let them stay on Colossus Boulevard. It appears we have new neighbors.
Traditional theory holds that there are two broad categories of magic: elemental, fire, ice, storm, and spiritual, life, death, and myth. Legends of astral magic from ancient Celestia often complicated those old definitions, but there has yet to be physical evidence of the practice. It was ultimately the discovery of balance magic on Krokotopia that upended the previous paradigms and introduced a composite sorcery that blended the powers of the elemental schools while also being able to enhance or debilitate spiritual powers. Today, balance is considered one of the core 7 schools of magic, but many institutions have yet to fully incorporate it into curricula. original practitioners of death magic were shunned by their societies, written off and punished as plague carriers and spirit thieves. And it's true that many of ill intent found a school with such spooky spells thematically amenable. The worst such group was the cult of the Corrosive Chorus, a sect from ancient Azteca who loathed the song of creation and sought to unwrite it. They traveled across nascent skyways, summoning banshees and spectral skulls to scream a discordant melody that could unmake worlds. Some believe Bartleby himself intervened to stop them, cursing the death cult with eternal life, sealed forever in a soundproof prison.
You found the books on the ancient history of magic? Let me get my notepad out and, tell me everything you learned. Wow, that's a lot! Gonna need a minute here, pal, to process all that. Okay, I'm good, but all the answers in those books just bring up more questions. Like, what happened to these titans? And what's with the sentient plants? You've seen them, the trees with the faces in Ravenwood. Every school has one, except Death and Balance. But what do they do? What are they for? Why don't Death and Balance have one? People have a right to know. We need to get the straight dirt from the horse's mouth. Meaning, go ask all the trees themselves. While you do that, I'll study the books.
What are we, spell trees? Why, we are the offshoots of the great-grandfather tree. He who, with his sister grandmother Raven, sang the song of creation and wove the spiral into being. Life magic in particular resonates with that song, uses its chords and verses to stitch wounds and mend spirits, to heal a fragmented world. And the titans responsible for that sundering? They were lulled to sleep by Bartleby himself. May they sleep evermore.
We spell trees aid in the invention of new spells and the crafting of treasure cards. I am the tree of myth. Mine is the burden to remember the stories of old heroes and monsters. It is from these tales that myth spells are born. Speak to me to learn recipes for myth spells. The other trees hold similar recipes for their own schools.
What's cooking, wizard? Oh, I think it's me. I am raw fire, after all, undiminished by any contradictory forces. Huh? Oh, all magical schools have an opposite. A school to which they're vulnerable, but against which they're strong. Fire melts ice, but melted ice douses fire. Similarly, life and death contrast, as does the creativity of myth with the destructiveness of storm. Balance? Yeah, I guess we do all sort of balance each other out. That's a good way to look at it, wizard.
How long have we been here? Oh, as long as I can remember. I don't know if we are the first, but these are the only spell trees I've known. Well, except for Mortis, the spell tree of death. I hear he came from elsewhere, but I know not where. Alas, he is, perhaps, ironically, dead.
destroyed with the death school in Malister's tantrum, so we cannot ask him. So, Wizard, Calvin told you about Mortis and that he came from elsewhere? But Blossom said we all came from Bartleby. Confused? Well, both are correct. Bartleby's roots stretch invisibly to every world in the spiral. And in any of those worlds, spell trees can bloom. A balance tree? I've never met one. It's possible one is out there somewhere. You need only to look.
You talk to the trees? They think the death tree is dead. There may be a world of balanced trees. Myth is weak against storm? What a scoop! This will make for a great article on the history of magic. And don't worry, I'm happy to share a byline. What was your name again? Fantastic! Till next time, pal.
Alright guys, we're gonna end it there. Until next time guys. Peace.